Hi, I've been asked to do a video showing how to use the Arianna Blooms dies and stamps from Heartfelt Creations. Now, I've had these for quite some time, so these are the older looking versions, not the pink ones, which are now out. But they're great stamps and dies because it allows you to stamp them out, use the die after you've stamped it to cut them out, multiples at a time. Mine's well loved, as you can see, and you also get with it these two which produce the middles for the flowers. So, having cut them all out, I'm only going to use the largest petals for this one. So I've cut them out and I've stamped them. I've stamped them in these inks. They're Alter New inks. The reason why I use this one is because there's four, this is lilacs, and there's 4 different lilacs in the pack. Now, Distress ink is fine, but my paler shade of lilac Distress ink has run out and I haven't replaced it. So I need to replace them. So I've thought I'd use these for the time being. So I just want to show you. I excuse the big shade, you know, light patch going on there. It's from the window above, and if I shut the blinds, it just doesn't work. So you won't be able to see anything if I do that. Okay, so. So, to colour these up, I'm going to use the second one along. I used the very dark one to colour, to stamp them out. I think it was dark, the darkest of all anyhow. And I'm going to use the Midnight Violet, I think. Or one of them anyhow. To colour them up, and it's very easy to do. Just use your Distress ink pad and start on the edge off of the flower and just bring it along and in. Okay, so that you're shading, you can see you're just shading up the outsides, darker towards the outsides, lighter towards the inside middle there. And that's basically all you do. You can go darker again if you wish, just do the tips, as you can see there, or you can use several shades of the same colour. But you can see the darker you go on the outside, the more detailed it looks, and it will look pretty cool once it's all put together. So I'm just going to wipe that ink away before I get it everywhere and dry it with a bit of tissue. Now, next thing to do is take yourself a spray bottle. Now I've used 250 GSM. It's a little thick, but I like that card. I like that thickness of card because it allows me to use it for card blanks and lots of things all at once. One, you know, I just buy one GSM card and then I can use it for everything. So here now, what I want to do is just give a light spritz because I want to break the fibres down on this card. It's too thick at the moment. You can use thinner cards if you like, but this is all I use, so I've used this. Give it a light mist on both sides, just so it's damp. If it's not quite as damp enough, take it off of your mat so you've got a little bit of dampness on it. You need it to be just damp, not soaking wet. And then what you need to do then, if you can check, excuse my horrible thumbnail, it broke off. Just pleat, if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just pleating and giving it a squeeze so it looks like that. And you do every single one of them. Pleat it, give it a squeeze, and you carry on till you go all the way around and you've done all of them. And then you have to leave them to dry, and I mean leave them to dry. Don't try and do it when they're wet, because all you will do is break and snap off the petals. So you leave them to dry, and it looks like that once you've done it. Okay, so leave them to one side. I now have one set that I've started work on already. So if you bring in your flower shaping mat, well used, and now ball tools. Okay, I bought a set of these ball tools off the internet. They're actually sugar craft ball tools, but they do a brilliant job, and to be honest, you've got 8 sizes and they were £4.50. They did take a little while to get here because they came from abroad, but they were worth the wait, especially for this one. But give them a try. Okay, so I'm going to choose a medium side one. And what I'm going to do is gently open up these dried pleated petals. Okay, gently open them up, not too far, and then turn it over, and you can bring the shape in. Don't take the pleats away that you've just done. Just bring the shapes in, shape it inwards like that. That's it. Okay, so once you've done that, turn it over, put your ball tool in the middle, run it round and round and round, and you've got that. Okay, now I've done the second one already, so you can see what we're going to do next. And quite easily, all we do is choose which one we'd like to use on the bottom and which one we'd like to use on the top, and I just push the bottom one down a little bit. Good old cosmic shimmer, there we are, and pop it on top, alternating the petals. Give it a press, put it to one side. Now, these things I've cut out in black. You can cut them out in white and colour them in black if you wish. If you've only got white cardstock, you don't need to be worrying about that. But I like them in black because I'm going to put some black beads in the middle of them. So this is the biggest one, and then there's 2 the next size down. So if you take the biggest one and using a smaller ball tool, just run it round the inside until it curls and cups up. Okay, you can, if you wish, pull these in as well, but I don't mind that the the little edges of them aren't curled up. I quite like them straight up. I don't mind that. So again, take the second one, run it round. Now this one is going to go inside the one we've just done, so we want it to be slightly tighter. And the third one, again, but really tighten this one up. You can tighten it up with your fingers as well once it's up there. And now all we're going to do is put a little bit of cosmic shimmer on, or any glue that you wish to use, in the middle. Pop it inside the middle. Pop the next one inside the middle. You can do as many of these as you wish. I find 3 is enough. I don't like too many of them. Then use your ball tool again. Line them up. And just press them down. There we go. Cup them up. And then that is going to get glued inside of there. Okay, press it down. Now, next thing I want to do is bring in some seed beads. Okay, now you can use collal glue, 3D glue gel, any of the above. But to be honest, I prefer to use hot glue, because it's instant. I'll just use a lid to catch them in. It's instant. It doesn't take overnight to dry, and it's really, really good for holding them in. So a good blob of glue in the middle. Take it away. Add your seed beads. Anything that hasn't been caught by the glue, you can tip and they'll come out. So there you go. There it is. I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see it. You got the seed beads in it. I quite like that one. Now I've also made it in a different colourway, in pink. That one's more crinkly around the edges. but it's a really pretty flower, quite a statement flower. And you can also use these dies on their own without stamping them, and it kind of looks like that. And from that you can make quite a lot of different flowers, to be honest, especially if you use it to cut the foam iron out, which is what the latest trend is. So that's one type of flower you can make with it. I'll leave them up there. Next flower you can make with it is one that looks a little more like a rose. Okay, again, I've stamped it out in purple, and I'm just going to show you how you can get it to look like that. Okay, so to shape the edges on this one, all I've done is use a quilling tool like this one. I've caught the edge in the quilling tool and I've just rolled it over like that, and I've gone all the way around with all of them. Okay, and then I don't want it to obviously be curled as much as that, because you know flowers aren't in real life that curly, unless they're dying, of course. So once you've curled them all, what I then do, this does help to break the fibres. I haven't wet this. It looks like that. So if you take your ball tool again, and now you can just run it round the edges where you've, and pull it towards the middle. Okay, round the edges and pull it towards the middle, and it gives you that little crinkly edge. You don't have to use the stamp on this if you don't want to stamp it out. I'm just showing that, you know, what it looks like with the stamp. If you wanted to do, just cut the card out, ink it up a bit. You wouldn't have the markings on the petals, obviously. So if you turn it over, then you can do the same thing there like that, and you'll find it coming up. And then what you can do is set that on there. You can make it bigger, smaller, as you wish. I've gone with one of each size. And then when it comes to doing the bit in the middle, I'll use this one because it's larger, you can see. So you, the same thing, except now you pull this in as much as you can. Okay, without ripping the petals, but don't panic if you do, you can glue it back on. And now, all you do now is take 3 opposite petals, bit of glue on a couple of them, and you push them up together. And as you push them up together, you glue the others in around it, like this. And you've made yourself a bud. Just hold it for a second while it's all glued. The flat part then goes into the middle, as you can see there. There. Okay. So that's the second one you can make. Third one, if you shape it exactly the same as I did just previously to make that one, and use the 2 petals, the large one and the smaller one. I've shaped both of them in exactly the same way as you've seen me do the others. Okay, so now what I want to do is add a nice centerpiece to this one. I've got a nice glittery gem, and I've got some stamens. So the stamens, I've just grabbed a handful, and this wire that you get on the flowers that you buy pre-made, I don't throw it away. I keep hold of it and I use it for this very job. Okay, so all I've done is folded the stamens in half, and I've twisted the wire through the middle, because that is going to help me get them through this flower. So obviously, because we're working in the middle and we're going to put the stamens in the middle, I don't want to be putting the hot glue in the middle there, because you'll never get the stamens through it. So I tend to attach these using hot glue just on the sides, and I find it's enough. So offset the petals, and all it's done is grabbed it on the sides. Okay, it is glued. There we go. So using a pokey tool now, poke a decent sized hole in the middle, because you've got to get this green wire through it. So you may have to poke 2 to join them up, but you won't see these holes, you won't see them at all. Okay, so poke your stamens through. There we are. You can pull them through as much as you wish. Be careful you don't rip your flower, obviously. So you can see them coming through now. So that'll be fine, I think. I like them quite to stand up above the flower. There we are. You can leave them at that if you wish, and just have a pretty flower that looks like that. Or you can open them, flatten them down, try and get them equal around it, lay it down, and then what I'm going to do is put a bit of hot glue on the back of this pretty gem and squash it in the middle. There we are. Once it's completely dry, you can fluff it back up again. There we are. And then if you turn over, once it's been glued, you can remove the wire, untwist it off the back of the stamens, and just take it out again. And then what I like to do is just put a little bit of hot glue around the stamen to keep it in place. So there we are, and we have another pretty flower made using the same die. So we've got those. Then that one is just a very basic 2 small petals glued together with one of these in the middle and a gem. So I hope you give them a go. They are very easy to do. I tend to make lots and lots and lots of them in the favourite colours that I use to make cards with. Normally the blues, the pinks, the lilacs, and then I keep them all in a little box. As you can see, I had a flower making session. This is another Heartfelt Creations one. Started life like that, got inked up, had a bit of Stickles glue applied to it, and it's now ended up life like that. So I hope you've enjoyed having a watch me make the flowers, and I'd like to see yours. If you have a go for yourself, put them on your website and let me know in the comments section under this. Alright, bye for now.